Even death, the thing that people most fear, is senseless to fear. Think about it. Spirit was done with its body. What can the body possibly do to prevent spirit from leaving and taking away life? Nothing. If spirit chooses to move on, that is it. It cannot be trapped. And what can the body do to leave the spirit if the spirit still needs body? Nothing. Spirit is in past, present, and future and can see things the body cannot. Body cannot conspire against spirit. Do you see how ego fights a fruitless war of fear against death and everything else? Do you see how fear itself is the destroyer? Spirit loses nothing. It cannot possibly lose. It knows that even after the body dies, spirit is still intact as it was before, and it is all good. It is ego that fears death, and only because death is unknown. People who know death cease to fear it, as you may have heard. Now think about your birth. Just as you may not be aware of all of the choices that you are making as spirit, just a few of them, you most likely are unaware of the choices you made with regards to your birth. That does not mean that there were no choices made. You chose a purpose, as we saw in the chapter on purpose. You had many purposes, desires, and wishes for further growth in various aspects. You chose the exact right circumstances, body, configuration, and location to be born in to fulfill your desires, purposes, choices for growth, and to stop believing in certain illusions. At every moment, you sent yourself the right people and things in your life to take you to the next step. Sometimes your ego refused to take them, but nevertheless, you sent them. Do you start to see how it all works? If you are still not convinced, think about this. What do people say when they are thinking of suicide? I can't live with myself anymore. Look at that statement. There are two people in one. It is like a person saying, I cannot live with this other guy anymore. Yet it is two individuals in one. One of them feels immortal and desires to end association with the other, which it knows is mortal, and the one where the suffering is coming from. Deep within everybody, there is knowledge that we are an immortal soul with a mortal illusionary body and ego. It is in believing in our illusionary part is the real part that all suffering comes from. It is when we live in the illusion instead of using it as we came to do that causes pain and lacking. The illusions are very necessary. They are beautiful gifts, but start using them instead of living in them. Vipassana, insight or mindfulness, meditation, takes your awareness to the level where you can watch your subconscious mind create thought. You can observe your sponsoring thoughts. It gives you a chance to fix your subconscious and ego through a process called mindfulness. It also takes you to levels beyond the subconscious. It is a wonderful tool. You are your spirit, not your body, personality, conditions, or anything else. Yet your spirit is eternal and all that is. Your spirit is real. You are spirit. You are real. The real creates the illusion, not the other way around. The spirit or soul chooses a purpose or purposes when it chooses to manifest itself as a human being on earth. This purpose is co-chosen with all other spirits, with the one. It chooses what it wishes to experience in this physical plane. It gets a body and mind to experience these things. Now, it communicates to the body and mind through desires and feelings, but it never enforces its choices. Body and mind are free to choose whether or not to experience those desires. Often, out of fear or past conditioning, they choose not. Yet the desire does not go away. It remains until fulfilled. When the body and mind are in disagreement or opposition to the soul, a person will experience dissatisfaction. When body, mind, and soul agree, the creative force is phenomenal. Waiting ends, and joyous experience occurs without resistance. The soul then knows itself experientially. At all times, you are free to choose what you wish to experience, and at all times, your soul communicates to you, but you can choose not to listen, as many people have done in the past. Nothing real can be threatened. A Course in Miracles. All other things held constant, to the extent that an individual or society lives as souls with bodies, minds, and egos, instead of the other way around, so will they have wealth and happiness. The greatest advice that can be given to you now is this: meditate daily. If you do not go within, you go without. Meditation takes you in to meet yourself in infinity, It cannot be explained, only experienced. Talking about infinity, let's take a brief look at the One. One, all that is. Hinduism taught it in a different way. Buddha does the same in a different way. Tao did the same in a different way. Jesus and Muhammad taught it in a different way. Quantum physics teaches it in a different way. Just about every spiritual teacher, sage, quantum physicist, and religion teaches us, in its own different way, that we are all one, and by acting in that awareness, we move forward fastest, most richly and least painfully. This is nothing new, but often we have refused to listen. Now, in your quest for wealth and joy, you may wish to look at this again. Everything is all one, the same being, individuated in different guises. In other words, everything is a localized point in and of the source of all that is, of God. Nothing can possibly exist outside of and separate from the source. The individuation and the illusions of separation are necessary, as we saw in the chapter on self. But they are only great tools when used as tools. When they are believed in as realities instead of illusions, they destroy and cause unnecessary suffering and inadequacy. Let us look very briefly into this oneness. Once you realize, feel, and act from this position of oneness, you will start seeing that you already are one with all things you desire and with all the people and things that will bring wealth to you. You will see that you are the one making the request for your desires, the same one communicating that request, the same one fulfilling that request, and the same one experiencing the manifestation of your request. Hence, you need not worry. The illusion that you are not the same one is there just for your thrill and experience. This chapter will only take a brief look at this oneness, merely to give you evidence and to start you thinking about it. It will merely start you on a journey that only you can take, for it cannot be said, only experienced. We are all one. You are one with the source, and nothing is difficult or denied from, by, and to the source. The universe is friendly to your desires. Nothing is impossible, if only you will believe. You can never permanently own anything on earth. Life is change, and one is all there is. Ownership is a detrimental state of mind that allows what you think you own to own you. Again, here on earth, what you think you own ends up owning you, possessing you, taking away a part of your freedom. Think about that for a moment. Everything is one. How then can you own a part of the one? How can your leg own your hand? Your leg can play with your hand for a while, but it cannot own it. This works the same way with you and the rest of life. When you think you own something, you chase it about to prevent the loss of it, a chase that is fruitless. Hence, it owns you. Instead, think of yourself as a custodian of things until it is time to not be their custodian. Whether you like it or not, when the time comes or when your life on earth moves on, you will have to release all these things. Even your own body is eventually released from its present form. So enjoy, share, and have these things, but do not think that you are their owner. You can be that, but you cannot really own that. It is all one, and one is always changing. Everything and everyone is connected. All life is one. What happens in Kabul affects you, somehow, wherever you are. And what happens with you, the thoughts you have, and so on, affects everyone else everywhere, somehow. So for your own sake, think, act, and be as one. Superiority and inferiority is not inbuilt in people and things. Seeing things in terms of better or worse is a judgmental weakness. This is especially a weakness of nations, whereby one government will consider itself superior to another, especially economically and systematically. It is also a weakness of social classes. An extremely high amount of wars, corporate collapses, and societal divide have been caused by the idea that my way is better than your way. Disharmony is costly and never profitable on the long term for anybody. Harmony is extremely profitable. You can avoid disharmony by looking at everyone around you not as better or worse compared to you or anything else, but as different. In other words, one entity's way is not a better or worse way. It is just a different way. This is a much more peaceful and profitable approach to everyone and everything else. Being special is not the same as being better. An entity can be special, but that does not make it better. If you wish to always be in harmony with the incredibly powerful laws of the universe, simply act as if the whole universe is one unit with no separation between its seemingly separated components. For example, to know how to handle a business opponent in a way that will profit you the most, act as if your opponent and you are one. Treat him or her in that way. There is not a person alive who is not capable of greatly contributing to the well-being of this planet. Just changing your attitude can affect the world around you. Susan Jeffers. It is in your best interests to do your part to ensure that people all over the earth have wealth consciousness and joy. Many thinkers and scientists are beginning to show that an individual's thoughts affect the whole world's thoughts. An individual is responsible for what happens in the world and to everyone on it. The ancient Greeks had a similar concept, Gaia. It has been mentioned by many philosophers all over the world, from ancient Greece by Plato to ancient Asia and the Far East. Modern scientists and thinkers in various fields of science are also starting to study and show that we are all connected. These connections are being found in various forms and in various fields of science. These findings include those by scientists such as Dr. John Lovelock, Peter Russell in his book The Global Brain Awakens, the British biologist Rupert Sheldrake in his book A New Science of Life, Howard Bloom in his book Global Brain, and many others. If you wish to be wealthy, you can do so on your own. But you can do so a lot easier and to a much larger extent, by far, if you help the world attain wealth consciousness. It has been said before in many places that the reason the one chooses to individuate itself is this: in the absence of that which is not, that which is not. Think about that. So the wrongdoer cannot do wrong without the hidden will of you all. And when one of you falls down, he falls for those behind him, a caution against the stumbling stone. Aye, and he falls for those ahead of him who, though faster and surer of foot, yet removed not the stumbling stone. The murdered is not unaccountable for his own murder, and the robbed is not blameless for being robbed. Yea, the guilty is oftentimes the victim of the injured. Khalil Gibran. Let us revisit quantum physics briefly. We saw that subatomic particles are what make up the physical universe. We also saw that these particles have intelligence. We saw that this pure energy has intelligence. It also has remarkable properties such as being able to be in two places at once and move from here to there without crossing the gap in between, to travel back and forth into time, and so on. We also saw that we were in relation and collaboration with these particles, for what we chose to observe is what becomes from this energy pool. Now, what do you suppose these energy packets are? What is pure energy? Before we attempt to answer that question, let us look at the source, all that is, what many call God. We have been told that we are children of God, in the image and likeness of God, and that God is all that is. Now let us go back to where God was the absolute only, before creation. In truth, there is no such straight timeline, but let us imagine that there is, for the sake of study. Okay, so we are now looking at God before creation. God was out there all alone. Remember, in the absence of that which is not, that which is not. In the realm of the absolute, there only exists one and nothing else to compare itself against. So experiencing itself was not possible. The one had to individuate into a duality, a realm of relativity. When the one did that, there now was a this and that. Now this duality could allow experience. Day could experience itself against night, and vice versa. The same was possible with all the opposite dualities or individuations, such as man and woman, up and down, left and right, and so on. And each of these dualities had their own similar dualities. For example, a woman or man had the dualities of sad or happy, and so on. And even happy had its dualities of very happy and not so happy, and so on. And the total of these experiences is the experience of the one. But for our discussion now, we are looking at the initial duality that first came of the one, before that initial duality split again. Now let us get back to the question of what energy is. Okay, so from one, we have the initial duality. Now let us call that duality spirit and anti-spirit. By the way, quantum scientists have discovered that subatomic particles all have an opposite. So a proton has an antiproton and so on. But in our part of the universe, these antiparticles are not present because antiparticles destroy particles when they meet. Scientists talk of these as the matter and antimatter of the universe. So the part of one that is spirit individuates itself again into infinite little parts or spirits. By the way, individuation is not the same as separation. Quantum physicists have also seen that although they call a subatomic particle a particle, it really is not a thing, yet it is the building block of things. And although a subatomic particle has a wave-like behavior and a particle-like behavior, there are no particles running around, nor waves fluctuating. You cannot visualize a subatomic particle. You can only calculate it and experience it. Subatomic particles behave as spirits would. Why do they do that? Now do you see what pure energy is? It is spirit. Everything in this part of the universe is energy. Energy is matter, one and the same thing. E equals mc squared. Yet spirit is energy, and hence spirit is matter. You see, there are no clear lines of definition and separation. All that is really is one. Individuation is not separation. Think of individuation as the having of many dimensions, not the separation into many separate things. So think of the world as dimensions or facets of the same one, not as separate things. The other part of the universe, for everything is a duality, is the anti-universe, made up of antimatter. But that is another topic altogether. The point is that you can now trace the origins and explanation of the universe and its link to spirit and to all. You now remember who you really are, who we really are, and why we did all this. You now also know that what the source is, you are. It is a very complex topic, and you do not need to understand it fully. Just knowing the truth is enough, and you do not need to explain it in detail. All other things held constant, to the extent that an individual or society is one, so will they have wealth and happiness. Again, the greatest advice that can be given to you now is this: meditate daily. Soon, maybe on your first meditation, maybe later, you will come to experience this oneness, and you will be amazed at it. It cannot be spoken of, only experienced. This is a journey only you can take on your own. Meditation takes you in to meet yourself in infinity. It cannot be explained, only experienced. Now, if you are one with the source and all there is, guess what else you are? You are abundant by nature. Let us have a look at your abundance. Abundance. You have it all. You have seen that you are one with the source, one with all that is. This makes you abundant. You have also seen how you created reality out of the quantum field simply by using your thoughts, states of being, words, and actions. You've also seen how anything is possible when you believe and choose consistently with clarity. All this makes you abundant. At your highest level, you are naturally, ever-presently abundant. There is nothing you have to do, and you cannot be anything other than abundant. Let us look at aspects of this abundance and how to make it materialize in your life. You are one with all that is. Spend your money gladly, cheerfully, and with excitement. Whether you are buying items or paying bills, be glad that you are doing it. Money runs away from those who feel it is in shortage, those who have negativity towards its use. Nature is capable of giving you all your desires without losing anything itself. Scarcity is not real. It only appears when we choose to see it. The source of all that is can never run out of creative power and ability. 1,000,000 times of what has been created can be created again. The supply is unlimited. Thoughts of scarcity take away abundance from your life. They manifest scarcity into the physical. To avoid scarcity, eliminate all thoughts of competition and instead choose creation. Competition is a statement to the universe that you believe your survival is at risk and there is not enough. So are thoughts of cheating, squeezing, manipulating, and taking advantage of people, paying unfairly, coveting other people's property, envy, and the like. These thoughts only create non-wealth consciousness and cause scarcity. You can get temporarily rich this way, but you cannot rise to your full potential this way, and indeed, you may even fall. Never look at the visible supply. Look always at the limitless riches in formless substance and know that they are coming to you as fast as you can receive and use them. Nobody, by cornering the visible supply, can prevent you from getting what is yours. Wallace D. Wattles. You are made in the image and likeness of the Source, God. Abundance and affluence are your natural states. In the deepest part of you, you already know this to be so. All you need is to remember this, so as to experience what you truly are. The universe has more than enough business and wealth for everyone. Way more than enough. People are not poor because nature is poor. People are poor because their wealth consciousness is poor. Even in 1 billion lifetimes, let alone one lifetime, you cannot possibly finish the wealth given to you free by life. But you can fail to receive it by your own thoughts, words, actions, and most of all, your chosen state of being, your I am statements and truths that you uphold about yourself. The idea that a person fails in wealth building because of competition or other such circumstances is illusionary. The so-called competition and negative circumstances are created by a person who believes in scarcity. They come to such a person in the most amazing way to fulfill the person's self-set limits. Abundance, affluence, and wealth are your birthright. Poverty is a transgression of the laws of the universe. The universe, by law and design, is not a place where poverty is natural. It is an abnormality. Do not scare away money by saying and thinking there is not enough of it. You cannot even begin to ponder the infinite vastness of the readily and freely available supply of value creation material and energy you have access to. Do not manipulate people and things. That is competitive thinking. Creative thinking is more effective and true to the nature of abundance. Competitive thinking makes you think in terms of scarcity that has to be fought for, and that is what you get. Why would you wish to create scarcity? Economics teaches about scarcity of resources. None of that is true. Economics was invented at a time when people believed in scarcity. This belief caused the world to be scarce, to perpetuate an illusion of scarcity. And hence, the study of economics proclaimed that resources are scarce. Economics is derived from observation. It totally ignores first cause, spirit, and state of being. We are only now beginning to see that certain resources can never run out. For example, software, music, or other digital content downloaded or broadcast cannot run out. How do you run out of a software download? No matter how many copies you download, there still remains that original copy that everyone is downloading. One copy multiplies as much as is needed without costing the maker any more money. We will soon come to know experientially that if enough of us put our mind on it, we could regrow the entire Earth's forests in a few years, create new water, or do anything else. Do not believe in the economics of scarcity. If you do, it will become true for you, a self-fulfilling prophecy of scarcity. Economics was a study of scarcity at a time when scarcity was all there was. That is why it is failing to apply to new economy, businesses, and calculations today. If you do not believe this, have a look at history. At one time, people were sure the earth was flat, and all their evidence at the time told them this was true. Then they believed the sun rotated around the earth, and all their evidence at that time told them this was true. Yet we now know that the earth is the one rotating around the sun. Or do we? In other words, whatever we hold as true is what becomes true, even though it may not be the ultimate truth. When we start questioning, we uncover a more correct truth that is closer to ultimate truth. There is always room for more revelation. You cannot say that your current answer is the ultimate truth. Our finite minds are incapable of taking in the totality of ultimate truth, which is infinite. We can only take small segments of it at a time. Never stop learning. Always be humble with what you know now, and you will know more. Scientists are only now discovering that this universe is not a four-dimensional one, but a multidimensional one, like a hologram. It is our senses that are four-dimensional: length, width, height, and time. A person's self is multidimensional, but their senses on their physical plane are, for the most people, four-dimensional in their capabilities. The universe itself is multidimensional, whereby all possibilities exist altogether. Think about that carefully. Scarcity is not a reality. It is a perception of an aspect of that holographic universe. You can always choose which aspect you wish to perceive and experience by choosing what you wish to truly believe and hold as unquestionably true. There is an infinite source of supply. When you are not having what you would like, know that your thoughts are at fault, not the universe. Accept full responsibility honestly and make amendments. But never talk or think of lack or shortages, for in that thought is the cause of lack and shortages. Broke is temporary, but poor is a mental condition, a disease of the mind, and it is more lasting. Yet, all can be overcome. How much is enough? Considering the fact that supply is infinite, then enough is probably the amount that allows you to live as you would wish to live, whether you are working or not. You then choose when to play and when to work as you feel like, not because you need money. Hence, conditionality and need move away from you and let you explore other aspects of life other than money. Abundance is all there is, and sharing, not owning, is the way to receive this abundance. Competition is unnecessary. It is a statement of scarcity, a fallacy. Competition in a business is a statement of scarcity and a bringer of scarcity. Creativity is a statement of abundance, the natural state. Shift from competitive to creative thought and see how that works for you. This is a universe of abundance. No one is going to take your share or beat you to it. There is more than enough for everyone. The only time there is not enough, the only time when you are beaten to it, is when you think and act competitively instead of thinking and acting creatively and trusting the abundant nature of the source. Thinking and acting competitively makes it harder for you to correctly follow the laws of the universe, especially the laws of cause and effect, the process of life expressing images of the mind, and of the power of certainty and faith. Thinking creatively and non-competitively helps you be in agreement with these universal laws and processes. To you the earth yields her fruit, and you shall not want if you but know how to fill your hands. It is in exchanging these gifts of the earth that you shall find abundance and be satisfied. Yet unless the exchange be in love and kindly justice, it will lead some to greed and others to hunger. Khalil Gibran. Out of abundance he took abundance, and still abundance remains. Upanishads. All other things held constant, to the extent that an individual or society sees, believes in, and acts in abundance, so will they have wealth and happiness. Again, meditate. It is the fastest way for you to know experientially how abundant you are. These higher concepts cannot be explained and fully understood intellectually. They can only be experienced. They can be talked about using symbols such as words, but the full appreciation and knowing can only come from experience, and all you need to do is go within, meditate, and all the experience you need will be right there. One day, maybe on your first meditation, maybe later, it will definitely happen. This is what the Buddha called enlightenment, the realization of the One. Talking about happiness, what is it and how does it become you? There is no point to life if you have no joy, for life is joy, and joy is life. Let's get happy. Happiness. Life is joy, and joy is life. The essential nature of life is joy. Joy is what life is made up of, and vice versa. It is the natural state of all beings. Anything with life, and everything has life, has joy as its natural state. It is how we are born as children, with a natural ability to live life with carefree abandon and joy. You can recapture that nature and extend it. The same laws of the universe that apply to wealth also apply to happiness. You've already seen many of these laws in previous chapters. Apply them to happiness just as you applied them to wealth. This is especially so with the law of cause and effect. If you wish to be happy, cause another to be happy. Conditionality is also an illusion when it comes to happiness. You're not happy because of certain conditions, but certain conditions come into being because you are happy. Happy thoughts and images also result in happy external events and conditions. Remember, too, to act as if you are happy and be grateful for all, even before you experience it. And remember to practice detachment. Perhaps the most important thing to remember is that the external world fashions itself to your internal world. If you are not happy with the external world, seek what it is internally that you are not happy with, then choose to be happy about it. Love yourself and the world will love you. Be happy with yourself and the world will be happy about and with you. How do you do these things? You just do them. Now. Do not complicate this. It is simple. Make the decision right now to be happy with you and to love yourself. Happiness is a decision. Decide now to be of the state of happiness, and all else will follow. Happiness is a continuum of moments that are not resisted. If you resist a moment, you will not be happy with it. Also, what you resist persists. What you accept and bring into your light reveals itself and lets go of you. Unconditional love, acceptance, detachment, and tolerance. All these lead to happiness. Sadness and joy are different grades of the same thing. They just appear to be different things. Hot and cold are actually just graduations of the same thing called temperature. When you express yourself and your desires, you have joy. When you do not, you have sadness. Follow your desires. It has been said that happiness comes from you making things happen for you instead of you waiting for things to happen to and for you. Balance your body, mind, and soul. Without a balance, you may become unhappy. Spend time doing things related to all these three aspects of you. For your body, take care of it. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Use it. Exercise it. Feed it well. Rest it, and so on. For your mind, continuously feed it with new knowledge. Exercise it. Think properly and deliberately. Rest it, and so on. For your spirit, learn about it. Exercise it. Meditate and get in contact with it, and so on. And for all three, listen to them and honor what they tell you and love them. Joy is your true nature. Another word for your soul is joy. Soul equals joy equals freedom equals soul. The lack of joy is the lack of expression of the soul. Protect and nurture the environment, nature. Whether it is in your immediate surroundings or around the world, do your part and do more. The health of your environment influences the health of yourself, which influences the joy of yourself. The beauty and comfort of your environment also influences your joy. The joy and harmony in all things that make up your environment influences your joy and harmony. It is all connected. Love, laughter, sharing, enthusiasm, optimism, and lightheartedness. These things make a person happy. Choose to be these things and you will be happy. Just make the choice to be these things from now on. Find the humor in everything. Everything has humor in it, even the most serious things. Try it. At first, it may be hard to find humor, but soon it will become second nature after you get used to it, and it will liberate you. Happiness is not found in a circumstance or event. Each event is just that, an event. You choose to experience an event as a happy one or an unhappy one. When faced with an event, choose the response that will bring happiness. Happiness comes from creating instead of reacting. Happiness comes from truthful observation of what is within you and outside of you. It comes from being truthful to yourself and everything else outside of you. The truth literally sets you free. Choose to be happy. You are not your circumstances. That is a powerful illusion. Your circumstances are you. That is a truth. Try to understand this. When you change you, you change your circumstances. Choose to like yourself, to love yourself. Scream aloud several times, "I love myself," and do it convincingly. Just make the choice now. Do not complicate it. It is a simple choice. What if there's something about yourself that you do not like? Start liking it, and then change it. See, what you resist will never let go of you. If a person told you not to think of the color red, you will find yourself thinking of the color red. Whatever it is that you do not like about yourself, stop resisting it. Instead, accept it. Bring it into your light, love it, and look at it calmly with detachment. Smile with it and befriend it. It will then reveal its secrets to you and let go of you. But you must continuously choose to like yourself fully at all times. This means that you start thinking about the thoughts you have about yourself. Whenever you get a thought about yourself that is negative, end it instantly and go positive. Be deliberate in thought. You become what you think about most often. If you think unloving thoughts about yourself, you become an unloved person. Both you and other people will be unable to love you. It is very simple. Choose well, for it is all within your power to the extent that you choose clearly, consistently, and believingly. If you consistently think you are ugly, unwanted, unable to do this or that, it will be so. The universe will conspire to make the powerful thoughts that you have of yourself to become true. The conditions to make them true will arise. Change your mind and change your world. Choose well. Live now, here. Like Harry Potter was advised by his headmaster, Albus Dumbledore, in the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone movie, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. Harry Potter found a magic mirror that showed, according to Dumbledore, the deepest and most desperate desires of our hearts, but not knowledge or truth. Dumbledore then cautioned Harry Potter against its use, for although it may have felt very comfortable for Harry to spend all day dreaming of his desires, doing so was not living. Living is what allows life to express itself, and with expression comes joy. It is okay to dream, but live life now, here, because the only place you can live life is now, here. Dumbledore then explained to Harry Potter that the happiest person was the one who looked into the magic mirror and saw only him or herself exactly as they were now, here. Think about that. There is an old saying that says, "When you laugh, the world laughs with you, but when you cry alone." Stop crying and start laughing. Keep it simple. Have enthusiasm. Live with passion. How? Choose to do so. Just do it. Change your mind. Start seeing how good things really are, and you will have joy. Look at the light, and you will never see the darkness. Change your mind. Change what you think you see. You can be looking at the same thing and see a happy picture instead of an unhappy one. See the good in everything. See the magic. That is what happy people do. Joy is what happens to us when we allow ourselves to recognize how good things really are. Marianne Williamson. Cultivate your relationships with people. Happy people, statistically and quite obviously, have healthy and happy relationships with friends and family. Love is a powerful force. Be friendly and of unconditional love, and you will make friends and have many fantastic relationships. That said, you must always remember that you need nothing outside of yourself to be happy. Do not become a person that relies on others to be happy. That is an addiction and a falsehood, not to mention an unfair pressure placed on others that will only lead to eventual unhappiness. Love yourself, and recognize that your love for others must be unconditional and free. Then be friendly, and keep your freedom of choice. Any relationship where you lose your freedom of choice is an unhealthy one that leads to unhappiness. Stable, fair, free, and loving relationships on all levels lead to happiness. Think about this. You do not owe anybody anything at all, ever, for any reason. Everything you do for others is a gift to them, and vice versa. Once you understand this statement deeply, you understand unconditional love, one that requires nothing in particular from others, and one that is not pressured to give anything in particular to others. And all that exists are gifts given and accepted cheerfully and naturally. From love comes joy. What is love? Love is not a bond, it is a freedom, a liberator, not a binder. It is a free expressor, not a limiter. In the presence of true love, things flourish as they are, perfect. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Khalil Gibran. Do not spend any time at all thinking about how unhappy you are or how this, that, or the other makes you unhappy. Remember, you become what you think about most of the time. The less judgmental you are, the happier you become. The more forgiving you are, the happier you become. Cherish and nurture your freedom, and let others have theirs as well. Practice unconditional love for yourself and for others. Freedom and love, these are the keys to happiness. Do not cut your freedom short, nor cut another's. True and unconditional freedom and love are the flames that fuel creativity, trust, growth, and expression of spirit, hence joy. It is important to understand the nature of unconditional love and freedom. Love and freedom that comes full of conditions goes against the only constant in the universe, change. Every moment things change. Change is growth. Conditional love resists change. It is a love of an idea, not a person. It is the love of a past known moment and not a future unknown moment. It is full of fear that the conditions will one day not be met. That fear attracts the very thing that is being feared. This is evident all around our world today. Finally, yet importantly, conditional love and freedom takes away the power to choose happiness no matter what the event is.